So we're bang smack in the middle of the sugya of Pekuach Nefesh. I want to make clear again, because we cannot reiterate this point enough. We are dealing with the situation of Pekuach Nefesh. We said yesterday, even a Sofik Pekuach Nefesh requires one to Harizoriz, to be Meshubach, to go and run and do what needs to be done. So therefore, even in a situation when a person has a Sofik, what the right thing is to do, if there's a slight chance that there's a matzav of Pekuach Nefesh, again, you have to know something to know that there's even a shayla of Pekuach Nefesh, then of course you should run to be Machal Shabbos, as we will explain today how. So, that is the general rule when it comes to Pekuach Nefesh. There are shaylas which we're not going to go into now, about two different doctors saying different things, what do we do in that case? The general rule, and this could be, by the way, if somebody has in their home two people that know a little bit of what's going on, or for example, they have two Hatzalah members that come in for one call, and one says, nah, you can wait till Motzei Shabbos. And the other says, absolutely not, you got to go now. The din is, of course, Pekuach Nefesh lahakol, Sofek Nefoshes lahakol. And in this case, being Mekel means to be Machal Shabbos, because there's even one opinion that holds that I have to be Machal Shabbos. I don't care about the one that says you can wait till Motzei Shabbos. I go ahead and Machal Shabbos. Moti, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Moving on. The other shayla is just, by the way, basically we can go on with this topic for ages, but we're not going to, because we need to get to Epistle Hilchos Purim, of course, before the, because we've got a trip coming up, so before we get there, we've got to make sure that we get to Hilchos Purim. But a missing child, Rahman al-Itzlan, is included, of course, in Pekuach Nefesh, and therefore, if there is a missing child, a person could do whatever it is, get in the car, go searching, again, depending on the situation, how long it's been, with the direction of people that know what they're talking about and know the situation. There is no number on that, no, but again, depending on the situation, right? You can't just, the kid's been missing for 20 minutes, go in your car. If there's a search party and the police are saying go, absolutely there's no difference. In fact, Shem is bringing up an interesting point. Shulchan Aruch brings this point, by the way, which is like this. What happens when there's a situation of Pekuach Nefesh? For example, let's say a person is a Hatzalah member, or even if he's not a Hatzalah member, let's say, for example, you know there's a matzah of Pekuach Nefesh. For example, you're looking out the window and you see in front of your eyes a situation of Pekuach Nefesh. There's been an accident, right? A young child was crossing the road, and Rahman al-Itzlan, a car came and smashed into that child. Matzav of Pekuach Nefesh, okay? So I'm going to run to call the ambulance. I'm going to call Hatzalah, right? Now, 1 minute, Tully, maybe there were other people who also saw it, and they called Hatzalah, and it comes out that 15 people all called Hatzalah. I don't want to be Machal Shabbos if I don't need to be. Zog the Shulchan Aruch, very clearly, Rabbi Isai. Shulchan Aruch says clearly in Shin Chof Ches that even if 10 people run to one matzav of sakana, as long as obviously they don't know that someone else did it, then 100% they will receive the schar, the reward, and they will shoyme Shabbos. They will never Machal Shabbos. So the situation of being Machal Shabbos Pekuach Nefesh is, as long as you don't know someone else has done it, you run. Okay? So it doesn't make a difference even if someone else may have called. I don't know. If I know someone else has called, obviously I shouldn't call. But like you said, by the search party, there's no limit. Unless, of course, the search party tell you we don't need any more people, we have enough, and more people are going to spoil it, whatever it may be. By the way, another ha'ara is the pachad of a child is also Pekuach Nefesh. That means, again, the Gemara talks about this clearly, Shulchan Aruch paskins this way, that if there's a child that's locked in a room, and when I say child over here, I mean a child that you cannot talk to and explain, don't worry, someone's coming to sort out the situation, someone's going to help, we're going to smash down the door, we're getting someone to come in, whatever it may be. We're talking about a young child that has a pachad of being stuck in a room that is Pekuach Nefesh. You can Machal Shabbos in any way, whether it means smashing down the door, whether it means pressing an electric button, whatever it may be. There's no shayla. Because a child that's in pachad is a matzav of Pekuach Nefesh. And therefore, again, depending on the level of the understanding of the child, if the child is on a level of understanding, this is not nafkamina bar or bas mitzvah. This is no nafkamina. This is a child that understands. A child that understands, don't worry, mommy and tati are coming, it's fine, whatever, give us a couple of minutes, we're going to get the key, we'll sort it out, and they understand and they're calm, then that's good. But if most children, especially younger children, people don't know this, they come to our shilas. I've had people come and knock on my door with these shilas. The oilam have to know that a young child that is in a matzav of pachad is a situation of Pekuach Nefesh. I don't want to go into the details, but this could be a similar shilah. Right, somebody came to me last Shabbos after davening. The whole electricity went down. Right, it happens very often in the winter. Happens in Eretz Yisrael. Happens in South Africa. Happens all over the world. What happens if you have young children and the electricity went down in a way that you could fix it? You could put it up or whatever it may be. Now, I don't want to go into every detail, but on a general rule, that if you're dealing with young children and they cannot be comforted and they're petrified or whatever, so then yes, a yid can actually flick the switch on Shabbos. Even if we're dealing with electricity and boiler and light switch or the right, so without getting into all the details, of course, if the parents are there and they can hug the children and they can take them to light across the street or whatever it may be, they should. But I'm talking about a situation where they cannot, and the kids are petrified. This is a massive pikuach nefesh, again, as long as the parents can't comfort them. What?
Can you have the other hanas from it?
Can you what? Yes. Yeah, that's called a shaila of marba bishurim, which I don't want to go into now. That when you ask a goy to do something and you switch on electricity, and agav is switching on the fridge and the freezer and the hot plate and the crock pot and the urn, it's marba bishurim, whatever. We're not going to go into sukkah, but that's okay. Okay? So just to note those things. Now, Rabbi said we left off yesterday with the shaila. We left off with the shaila is as follows. This that we say, that pikuach nefesh is doicha, everything. Right, except for the Gimel Averos Chamuros. And for Shor Shabbos, which is what we're dealing with. Does it mean it's Hutra or it's Tchuya, Shail in the Gemara? Does it mean that it's Hutra, meaning that Shabbos Kodesh becomes like a Tuesday afternoon, do whatever you want, however you want? Or is it Tchuya, which means Avadavit Shabbos Kodesh, but they allowed a person to be Machal Shabbos, it was sort of Tchuya, it was pushed aside. But that means the Nafkamina would be, do I have to do it with the Shinoi? What about through a goy? All of those things, that's where the shaila comes about, along with many, many other things as well. So let me just give the olam a basic idea. There's a Gemara in Yuma Pei Daled Amud Beis, where the Gemara says, a lot of the sugyas over here are in Yuma, by the way. The sugya in Yuma tells us that when you're Machal Shabbos for a situation of Pekuach Nefesh, it's often a Gemara. The Gemara says, do not use a goy, do not use children, and do not use Noshim women. As I state the Gemara Mefurish. What's the reason? What's the pshat? Comes along Tosfos, and Tosfos says because a goy doesn't appreciate a Yiddish neshama. He doesn't appreciate that every moment to a human being is so choshev, and therefore he's not going to be so quick. He'll go, but he'll go slowly. He's not going to go so fast. Not going to be so bezrizas. So Tosfos, that's the reason that you cannot use a cotton. The Rosh comes along and says, don't use children. Don't tell a kid, well, we'll get to go. Don't tell a kid, you press the button on the elevator, or you press the button on the phone, or whatever it may be. Why? Zug the Rosh, because if people think they can only do it through children, because they may get that idea, because you're using a child, that if a child's not there, they're going to say, so I can't do it, it's only for children. By the way, the Taz says a similar thing about women as well. That the reason why, this is what the Rambam says, Be'etzem. Why can you not use women? Says the Rambam, because you're showing women, it's okay for me to Machal Shabbos. You know those guys that don't carry in the Erev, but the wife carries in the Erev? So what are you showing? You're showing that for you, yeah, you can do it, it's fine, no problem. Me, Vadanish, right? Often the Rambam rabbis say, you got to be very, very careful. And Mefurish Gemara, not to use women, not to use children, and not to use goyim. Okay? Why? Because they're not going to be as quick. Now, Rabbi said we are talking over here about a situation where I need to call now. And every moment and every second can make a major, major nafkamina in the situation. Comes along the Ramah, and this is for Ashkenazim listening only. Sfardim, you can close your ears. You guys don't have to listen to this. The Ramah says clearly, V'chein noyagin. Says the Ramah, if you can do it through a goy without any delay, then you should. Sfardim, there's no inyan b'chlal. But according to Ashkenazim, if there's a situation of Pekuach Nefesh that every second is not vital, so then the Ramah paskins that of course you should try to get a goy if it will not delay things. Marashiv Rav Shaimak Zatzal used to say a similar thing about a shinoi. He used to say that you shouldn't use a shinoi, even though the Maisa you're meant to use a shinoi because it's tchuya. By the way, we paskin in the Shail in the Gemara Hutr tchuya, we paskin tchuya. So if we paskin tchuya, it means it's not a Wednesday afternoon. What is it? It's a Shabbos Kodesh. And they pushed aside the halachas of Shabbos because it's Pekuach Nefesh. But of course, if you could do it in a way that's better, you should be doing so, right, Dubi? Which means that according to that, if you could do it through a goy, and do it through a shinoi, in other words, you could press the buttons of the phone with your knuckles, or something similar, which is considered to be a shinoi, and it will not cause a delay, then it's mutter. And not only is it mutter, a person should do that, according to the Ramah at least. Rav Shaimak wasn't so into that, because he held, unless it's a situation where clearly you can wait. For example, childbirth is often a shaila. The Aruch HaShulchan is a moed galosha by childbirth. The Aruch HaShulchan says by childbirth, it's not even, a person's not bold about it. B'Seder is having a baby. B'Seder, it's not like, someone's having a stroke, Rahman al-San, a heart attack, Rahman al-San. B'Seder is having a baby, so we'll figure it out. Person's not in like a crazy bold situation. So Memela, according to that, Rav Shaimak held that a person shouldn't really do a shinoi because it could cause problems of pekuach nefesh, because a person will do it wrong, or press the number wrong, he'll have to erase it, he'll have to do it again, it could make a delay in a minute or two. We don't want to do that. But even Rav Shaimak would be masking Moti that in a case where clearly a person can wait and it will not cause any delay or problem in the situation of pekuach nefesh, of course everyone will be masking that a person should try to use a shinoi in that case. So the basic idea is pekuach nefesh, we run and we do whatever needs to be done without thinking. Our shaylas later, don't our shaylas now. If the situation allows that we can wait and we can do it calmly, we can ask a goy to call the ambulance, we can ask a goy to drive to the hospital, we can ask something like that with a shinoi, of course we should. But only if we know clearly that there's no shayla of waiting will be a pekuach nefesh. The same is true, by the way, since we paskin d'chuya. If we know that we can wait until Motzei Shabbos, we should. In other words, if something happens an hour before Shabbos goes out, a tzollah guy comes in from next door and he says, this needs stitches, but you can wait, infection, whatever, but you can wait until Motzei Shabbos, an hour will be fine. So if it was hutra, so it's Motzei, so you can do whatever you want, who cares? Who cares when Shabbos is going out? But since it's tchuya, since it's pushed over, so memela, if I can wait and will not cause any difference, clearly, it will not cause any difference whatsoever. If it's safe and you've got medical opinions saying that it's safe to wait, then avada, then you should, because be'etzem, it is tchuya in that case. And the same applies with all sorts of things, even though this is our subject to a major machlokas rishonim, which we're not going into at this exact moment of time, because I'll tell you where it starts. The Shulchan Aruch says, Shin Chav Ches Siv Dalas, Kol, do, which means Lashon Shulchan Aruch is whatever you would do on a Monday morning, do on a Shabbos morning. As always, mashma from the Shulchan Aruch. Says the Mishnah Berurah, B'Seder, but there's a limit, right? There's a nafka between a D'Oraisa Mati or a D'Rabbanan. It depends if there's something that you would normally do, not normally do. Nafka a woman's going to give birth. Do we switch on the music? And those sorts of things. I say if it's hutra, it's hutra. I would do it on a Monday morning. Why can't I do it on a Shabbos morning? Right? So on says Avada, a person has to be careful. I'm not going to go now into all of those sugyas, but it means that a person can do something that will physically strengthen the person, right? So for example, if the choila needs a hot drink very badly, and there is no hot water, could be, again, depending on the situation, that you can heat up water for that choila, because that's a normal thing that you would do, and they very much need it. A woman giving birth, someone who's going through a situation, they need a calm drink, whatever it is. There's no hot water available, except for an electric hot water tap or something similar to that. So again, could be there's a teim over there. Having a shower, also could be negeya, depending on how it works with the fire and everything else, switching on the hot water. But again, these are things that will strengthen physically a person in a matzav of pekuach nefesh. So even though the hot drink is not the refuah, is not the healing, and they will not die if they don't have the hot drink, but since that will give them the chizit, that will give them the strength, then that it's mutter. Same is true, by the way, with a woman giving birth, and she wants to have she needs the music on to calm her down, or whatever it may be. There are heterim. Again, there's a wonderful book called Giving Birth on Shabbos. Everyone should have it when they get married to make sure that they know what to do. But Al Kaponim, that's number one. Number two, Rabbi said, we have to finish. There's a halacha, which is Buddha in the Gemara, called Yituvei Daita. Yituvei Daita means that we have a heta on Shabbos, to be Machalel Shabbos, to strengthen emotionally someone that's in a matzav of pekuach nefesh. I'll give an example that the Gemara brings. The Gemara brings the following example, okay? Listen to this. The Gemara says, a woman's giving birth, matzav of pekuach nefesh. The lights are basically dim. They're shvach. And the woman who is delivering the baby says, it's fine, I can see, I'm good, everything is wonderful. The woman who's giving birth says, no, I want the lights on. I'm scared, I don't know if she can see, I need the lights on. It's fine, the doctor says it's fine, I don't need the lights on, I can see what's going on, everything's wonderful. But you're allowed to switch on the lights. Why? Just to make her feel better. Let's say a choila wants to go to a specific hospital because he trusts that hospital and the other ones he doesn't, for whatever reason. Now, it's shtusim, it doesn't mean anything. Come on, they're all the same, they're all gavaldik. But no, he feels that way. So even though halachically, meaning lemaisa, there's no physical difference between one hospital and the other difference. I'm not talking about when there is, of course there's enough kamina, but I'm talking about there's no difference in one and the other. There's the patient feels better in one hospital than the other one. The halacha is you are allowed to be mechalal Shabbos yetuvei daita just to put someone's mind at ease. Now the question. Okay, what? If that's going to help the situation, it could be. Now Rabbi say this is going to be a major nafkamina. What's the nafkamina here? The nafkamina is going to be, what about being machal Shabbos for something that's going to put someone at ease, but is not a proven thing? Let me give you an example. What about being machal Shabbos for a skula? Right? If Shlomo Kluger brings down the shaila of somebody that was in a matzav of pekuach nefesh, there was a major pekuach nefesh, and they wanted to basically be machal Shabbos by sending someone to the neighboring town to take their name to the Bel Zeruv, and the Bel Zeruv will daven for them. Right? Whether or not are you allowed to be machal Shabbos for a skula? Right? Somebody wanted to also one time send a guy to go and get the tfus rishon of the Noimen Melech to put under the pillar b'shas childbirth, whatever it is. We're not going to go into the details now. Are you allowed to or not allowed to machal Shabbos for your tuvei daita on something which is a skula in that case? Now, most poskim are generally machmir in that case because it's not bodukum manusa. We don't know. It's not like the olden days where they had a kmeya. Again, it's beautiful things and it's wonderful, but these are not things that we're generally machal Shabbos for. Rabbi say we could go on and on and on. We're not going to because we've got other things to get to. But the olim have to realize Avodah Shabbos Kodesh is the greatest day of the week, the most holiest day of the week. But we have to realize that a human life is much more choshev than that. And whatever we need to do to save that human being, we will do. Of course, in a situation where we know it's pekuach nefesh, or at least a suffix. Otherwise, it goes back to the original dinim that we had previously. Have a wonderful day.